It is now my immense pleasure to request our Honorable Vice President of India to please address all of us.
Sri Joseph Kahil, PMI Board of Directors, Sri Randall T. Black, Chair, PMI Board of Directors, Sri Tejas Sura, PMI Board of Directors, Sri Sriram, PMI Pearl City Chapter, Mrs. Komala Madhur, PMI Pearl City Chapter, delegates who have come from different parts of the globe and also from different parts of India, brothers and sisters. I am extremely happy to be amidst you today, this morning, to address your gathering. It's a mega conference. I would like to congratulate Project Management Institute for organizing this mega conference. I am also happy to be in Hyderabad. That has a special place in my heart and is a city of happening in India. Hyderabad is a city of happening. I am happy that you have chosen to hold your conference in this historic city and city of happening. Our country has seen big shifts in the past 5 years in terms of economic progress, infrastructure development, market confidence, and social empowerment. Under the able leadership of the Prime Minister Sri Narendra Bhai Modi, we are on a mission to reform, perform, and transform. Transform the nation, transformation of the nation. Transformation means transforming the lives of the people. You could see very clearly that there is a zeal to transform India. That's why a lot of changes are happening in policy formulation, in implementation, and also in prioritization of the projects and programs in the country. Under the leadership of our Prime Minister, India is on the move. I am happy to note that the theme of this conference is Adopt, Transform, Accelerate, made possible by a project manager. Very apt. Project managers are extremely important for a nation's progress. The Prime Minister of India is a project manager for the project of the project of transformation of India. And like that, in every organization, in every project, in every program, there has to be a manager to manage, to lead, to guide, so that you'll be able to reach your goal. Project managers are extremely important for nation's progress. Whether it is a plan and execute projects well, be change leaders or inspire people from different geographical locations, cultures, and ethnicity to work together for the common good. Project managers have played a vital role in both public and private sector, because you are all seeing now the entire world is also moving slowly towards private sector. And now we are in the era of a public-private partnership, PPP model, across the globe and particularly in India also. Project managers have been playing a vital role in both public and private sector, from infrastructure building to information technology, from telecom to the power sector, to the health sector, and many more. However, to support fast growth across the sectors, the country requires more skilled talent. It has been estimated by 2027, India will need 70 lakh new project managers. So let me assure you that you are in the right place at the right time. This is your opportunity to contribute to your industry and to your country, because for each project implemented successfully within time and budget, there are hundreds, thousands, sometimes millions of people who stand to benefit. Sadly, our country does not have a good track record area of executing projects on time. This needs to change. Although transformation must be seen at all levels, the project managers play a key role and must act as change agents. The flash report that the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation published in April this year says that more than 25% of large central sector projects, that is cost about above 150 crores or more, are delayed beyond their scheduled date of completion. This is a reality. This is not to criticize anybody or any government or any party. This has been happening over the years. So we need to improve the execution of our projects. And the same is the case with regard to private sector also. We need to improve the execution of our projects and programs. For that, we need to improve the way we plan projects. We must start from there. The way we plan our projects, manage stakeholders, monitor progress, take corrective action swiftly and decisively, and develop future-ready talent with a high technology quotient. PMI India is part of task force on the project and program management set up by Niti Aayog. The task force has recommended the setting up of a national policy framework for project and program management and prescribed global standards and certification of project professionals in public projects. Now, the world, the globe has become a small village. Now everything is open. You have technology, you have transparency, you have communication. What is happening here will be known in Washington in a few minutes. What is happening in Texas today will be known throughout the country and throughout the world. That is the power of information and also technology and communication. That being the case, you cannot live in isolation and have the consolation and feel that you are have insulation. No, you cannot. You must open up. You must be ready for competition, and you must prepare yourself to face the competition. Because globalization, we are living in an era of LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization. So we must take advantage of the same. Otherwise you will be lost. Because as I told you, the competition is across the globe. So keeping that in mind, while planning, while executing, while monitoring, we must take extra care. The Quality Council of India is currently working on the policy framework. If implemented, it would be the first time that the Government of India would have initiated a formal approach to project and program management. I believe this is the right time for such a step. Our country has embarked on a development agenda that is bold, ambitious, and at a pace and scale that is unprecedented. India is a land of engineering and architectural wonders that serve as an example of great management practices, from the ancient temples of Mahabalipuram to Ashok Pilla. That is a miracle even today among metallurgists because of its rust-resistant quality. Modern-day India has had several remarkable achievements that serve as a proof of our capabilities. The newly inaugurated Statue of Unity on the banks of the Narmada in Kevadia in Gujarat is a standing example, the tallest statue of the world, built in memory of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the Iron Man of India, the unifier of India. Not only did we build the tallest statue in the world at 597 feet, but we also built it in a record time of 33 months. This is the inspiration. This is the inspiration. That is the result of the new thinking, out-of-box ideas, zeal for transformation, and that too led by the Prime Minister himself. There are many other projects and programs that are matter of great pride to us. Aadhaar, the world's largest biometric database, Chandrayaan 1 and 2, that have placed us among the best in the world of space research. Indian elections, which is the largest democratic exercise in the world. Elections also is a big project, conducting elections. And the Kumbh Mela, which is the largest human gathering in the world. It was really amazing to see. When I went there, I myself was surprised because I have seen the earlier Kumbh Melas and lakhs and crores of people all gathering at one place, having a comfortable stay and enjoying the holy dip. No problem, no incident. Everything went on very smoothly because of precise planning and execution and management. I have had the privilege of heading 2 ministries that are responsible for some of the largest and most complex projects and programs that the country has seen of late. The Ministry of Rural Development and the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. As the Minister of Rural Development, I was responsible under Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee's regime to have the rural road scheme, Pradhan Mantri Sadak Yojana. That is the largest connectivity activity in the world, I can say, in the rural areas. Because connectivity is key for development. If the connectivity is there, the development will get accelerated. If you do not have connectivity, then you will not have growth also. Rural India has been suffering without connectivity for long. I remember the day when this program was taken up. There are people who said, sir, you can understand, you will be able to finance the National Highway Project, Golden Quadrilateral, because you will get money through toll. But rural road, who is going to pay back the money? You cannot tax rural people. If you tax, then they will axe you. That was the response in the elections, not physically. But I was very keen and I convinced the Prime Minister. Prime Minister said, convince others also. Because in the cabinet, there are not many takers initially. So I told them. Then I explained them in my own way to tell that road is very key to development. If there is no road to the village, nobody will go to the village. And they will not be able to sell their products also. Be it milk, be it vegetable, be it rice, be it other things and all. So I told them, if there is no road to the village, no VDO, BDO, DDO, ADO, collector, doctor, actor, tractor, nothing will go to village. And if these things do not reach villages, then how do you expect development? So then finally everybody has supported the scheme. Now it has become a reality. Lakhs of kilometers are being connected to the rural area. In 2000, when I launched the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana to improve rural connectivity with a mission to bring unconnected and isolated villages of the country into road network. So far, the ministry has built more than 6 lakh kilometers of rural roads under this program. As the Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs, I was privileged to have overseen the rollout of some of the most ambitious programs of the government. Swachh Bharat, Smart Cities, Housing, and Prime Minister Awas Yojana. This is one of the largest housing program in the world, again, which is being executed now. But this is done with both the center and states coming together, working together. We have made good progress towards achieving Gandhi's vision of Clean India, a pledge that the Prime Minister has made on October 2nd, 2014. In a few days, when we celebrate 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, we would have fulfilled the program to a large extent, because the program is not a mere governmental program or an ornamental program or a political program. This is a public movement. It has slowly becoming a public movement. तो प्रधानमंत्री ने भी उस समय मुझे कहा, इसको राजनीतिक रूप नहीं देना, सरकारी कार्यक्रम के रूप में अमल नहीं करना, इसको एक जन आंदोलन का रूप देना चाहिए. He said it should be made into a people's movement. Now people are realizing the need for Swachh Bharat. They are not seeing it, this is a program of Modi, why should we do and all. Swachha Bharat is not for Modi, it is for your body. You have to understand this. You have to understand this is for the country. And similar programs, many of the programs that has been given by Prime Minister, planned, and now they are all being implemented. And even I can give you the small, how the projects are envisaged, programs are envisaged. You might have heard about Jana Dhana. Jana means people, Dhana means money. Jana Dhana, that is opening bank accounts. When the Prime Minister said that we should open bank accounts to all, I was in the government at that time, Minister. I told Prime Minister that we will complete it during our tenure. Prime Minister said, our tenure? I understood. Sir, I said, sir, a thing which could not be done in 58 years. If you are going to do it in 4 years, it's really great. He said, no, it should be done before 2 years. Prime Minister is Prime Minister. So, everybody kept quiet. But I can tell you, my friends, the way the project is monitored and the program was planned and implemented, within 16 months, 36 crore people have opened bank accounts in the country. 36 crores. And that too, not by employing additional people. This was done by the same bank employees. They did their duty, no OT. OT means overtime allowance. Everybody has done their duty. That's why this mighty work of connecting to 36 crore people have happened. And there was no dearth of, when you plan something and you announce something big, people will say, to ye to hoga kya? There are skeptical people even for this Jana Dhana also. Some people said, sir, bank accounts have been opened, okay, but where is the money? Paisa nahi hai to bank account kholne mein matlab kya hai? When there is no money, what is the fun of opening bank accounts? Those people who are skeptical, pessimistic, they realize the importance of bank account on 2016, November 10th evening. When the Prime Minister came on television and started saying, Bhaiyo aur Behno, then people understood. And they started looking to their drivers, to their cook and PA. Arey bhai, you have bank account, na? We can park our money sometime there. So this is this reaching out the unreached, funding the unfunded, recognizing the unrecognized. That should be the norm for the future. This is what is being done by the government. That's why I said the Prime Minister is having zeal for transformation. Zeal for transformation. I don't want to get into political, but what is happening in the country, and any good measure, initiative, program, project has to be welcomed, and we should feel happy about the same. According to World Bank, World Economic Forum, International Monetary Fund, Asian Development Bank, Moody's ratings, everybody is indicating if India moves together with the same zeal, with the same reforms, India will become third largest economy. This is what they are saying. So there may be temporary setbacks. There may be temporary setbacks. We have a recession worldwide. Some effect of it there on India also. But I can tell you, if you carry forward these reforms and then put your heart and soul and work honestly, nobody will be able to stop India. So you must take timely measures. I'm very happy that yesterday the Finance Minister has announced the cut in the corporate tax, something historical, a bold move, which will stimulate the growth in the country again. You have already seen. Cutting the corporate tax to this extent is not something simple. It really requires guts in the present situation. And I'm happy that decision has been taken. And people also are happy about it. So the big project management challenges here is to change people's perception and with their support for lasting impact. Smart cities is another ambitious program that has few parallels in the world. According to the World Urbanization Prospects, the urban population in the year 2025 will rise to 42.5%, 566 million. Now people are moving towards urban areas. Whether you like it or not, urbanization has become a reality. Even I have moved from Rural Development Ministry to Urban Development Ministry. I am a farmer. I feel proud that I come from a village, but still the reality demanded the government. In Vajpayee's government, I was Rural Development Minister. In Narendra Bhai Modi's government, I was Urban Development Minister. Because then someone asked me, why? Sir, to take care of the rural people who are coming to urban areas in good number. Smart cities will provide the answer to many of the problems that our growing cities face today, like public transport, water management, solid waste management, and crime prevention. They're all challenges. To me, the big challenge here is not funding the infrastructure or technology, but leadership. Where the state or the city has strong visionary leaders, smart city projects have moved ahead well. Smart city requires a smart leader. Smart do not mean in height, weight, suit, boot, hat. Smart in thinking, smart in vision, smart in execution. You need smart leaders for the cities. You need smart leaders for the projects. The Pradhana Mantri Jana Dhana Yojana, I gave you the example. We have overachieved our targets. The original target was 7.5 crore new bank accounts, which has now revised to 12.54 crores. The government have achieved 100% target, of which 60% accounts are in rural area and 51% account holders are women. The project management lessons that one can draw from this is that bold initiatives need champions who will inspire the team to work towards achieving bigger goals. You might have heard about Metro Man, Engineer Sridharan. You need leaders like that. You need visionaries. There are many Sridharans in many areas, among you, among the countrymen, even globally also. We need to have such leaders in every activity and every project. The Prime Minister has taken up a greatest financial inclusion program because the country like India, it requires inclusive growth. Why India? Even the world requires inclusive growth. You can't live long like this, having economic disparities, and then having 7-star hotels, and then ordinary people suffering without any facility. You have to bridge this gap in your planning, in your execution, in your programs, and you must have commitment for sustainable development. United Nations also has given a call for sustainable development goals by 2030. The world must focus. The priority should be to eliminate hunger, poverty, end regional disparities, end social discrimination, end gender discrimination. There should not be any scope for gender discrimination. Women, men, women are also now 50% of the population. We must give equal opportunity. If you give them opportunity, they will excel. You have seen number of examples of women heading organizations. Even the World Bank now, the chief economic advisor is a woman. Even the IMF, woman is the chief economic advisor from, I think, Madam Gopinath from Mysore. So if you give an opportunity, you have the story of Arundhati Bhattacharya heading the State Bank of India. You have many such examples I can give you, provided if you give them opportunity. Without giving opportunity, sir, how can the woman perform this, that and all? We should not worry about that. We should give equal opportunities, no discrimination at all, and no discrimination on the basis of social background of the person, forward or backward. And then there should not be any discrimination on the basis of regional, north, south, east, west and all. We must have an approach for inclusive growth. All our programs, all our projects must aim to have and achieve inclusive growth. The difficulty in land acquisition has been one of the major reasons for highway projects lagging behind schedule, and some of the other projects also. We have found a good solution for that. We don't award a highway contract unless 80% of the land is acquired. As a result of the 700 ongoing national highway projects in India, over 40% have been completed in the past 4 years because of this issue. The project management lesson to learn from this innovative thinking and the will to make it happen to go a long way in overcoming difficulties. What is required is not a simple a new bill or new legislation. What is required is political will, administrative skill, then go for the kill. You can achieve. You can achieve anything. We have made a promise to connect every village of India to the electricity grid. And today I am happy to say that we have achieved 100% of that target. The biggest lesson here is coordinated effort between center and state and district administration, village panchayats and power distribution companies to translate a promise into reality. The exposure to fumes during cooking has increased the incidence of respiratory disease among the rural citizens and particularly among the women. Through the Pradhana Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, now 7 crore poor households have received free LPG stove and initial refills. There are 2 other major areas that need urgent attention in the country, and the Prime Minister has rightfully flagged these issues. Access to clean water, saving the country from plastic. These are the 2 important agendas set by the Prime Minister before the country. All of us, while planning our programs, we should focus. Water is going to be a major area of concern, not only in India, but also across the globe. That to clean water. We must conserve and preserve, reduce, reuse, recycle water. This is very much necessary, and it should become the responsibility of each and every citizen. And then about the plastic. Plastic also, now enough has been written and said about the evil effects of usage of plastic. So we should take up these programs also. Another project that is being taken by the government is to providing piped water to all homes across India by 2024. In many of the success that our country has achieved, there is a strong role of the private sector also. I believe the private sector can play an even bigger role in nation building, where it is smart cities, education, healthcare, infrastructure building. I believe in public-private partnership will be the order of the day. One of the important lessons that the government agencies must learn from the private sector is to institutionalize project management. People in the government, they should take note of what is happening in the private sector, how they are able to achieve good results, because we have to institutionalize project management. Many organizations flourish because of a leader, but once the leader is gone, they go back to their old ways of working. We need heroes who will inspire us and drive us to achieve big things, but we also need to establish systems and processes that will ensure that an organization functions well, whether the hero is there or not. That will be crucial in the days ahead. I believe the project managers carry a huge responsibility. These are times of immense changes, and your knowledge and skills will be critical, crucial in helping organizations grow, which in turn will have a positive impact on the industry and the country's economy. My message to you is twofold. Acquire the right skills and keep yourself constantly attuned to the demands of the future. Technology is changing fast, and you need to be aware of the latest digital skills to stay relevant in your job. Recently, I have been to a small country, Estonia. Population is 12 to 15 lakhs total. But that is the first digital country in the world. If such a small country can, really we should appreciate them and we should follow. I am also happy India also we are moving towards the digitalization, that it should be accelerated. 250,000 villages are going to be laid with optic fiber line. That should be taken on priority. The digitalization is important because at the end of the day, delivery of the service is more important. Delivery to the people. Planning is okay. Announcement is okay. Budgets are okay. Political Manifestos are okay, but at the end of the day, unless the person receives the benefit, he will not be happy. And the program has no meaning. So digital is the way forward, online, so that there is no need for any line. Nobody need to stand in line. That should be our line of the country. No need to stand in line, standing in line, going and meeting and greeting people, shaking hands, doing something in between hand. There should not be any necessity. There should not be any necessity. It should be totally online. That is possible, and you make everything digital. In the coming days, that should be the way forward. Develop leadership skills and business knowledge to compete with the best in the world. Secondly, there is a lot that you can do in your individual capacity for your community. I am extremely happy to hear about PMI's global celebration of service in commemoration of its 50th anniversary. I commend the PMI for its pledge to dedicate 1 lakh hours of service to the community. I would like to remind you, the Indian philosophy is share and care, is the core of Indian philosophy. Share and care. Vasudaika kutumbakam, sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. Taking care of everybody. That should be our philosophy. So please try to take this seriously. There is a great opportunity for project managers to give back to society. So go ahead and commit yourself to a cause that you believe in. People have demand now across the globe. Even if some of you want to go abroad also, no problem, go. We have enough population. Go. Go. But my advice to all of you is go, learn, earn and return. And do something concrete to your motherland. I once again congratulate the members of the PMI Pearl City chapter and wish PMI all the best for its professional development and community building initiatives. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. We feel truly privileged to see and hear you in person. The invaluable insights are truly inspiring along with your wise words. And we feel so proud to be part of this project, Transform India, in this mega project. And we're looking forward to continue contributing to it with our extended team across the country. I would now like to request.
We would like to submit one other thing to your attention, sir. Yesterday, the Statue of Unity, the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel project has earned PMI India Large Project Winner Award yesterday, and it was presented. And one other thing, sir, you have asked us to commit to the country's development. We have, just out there to our left, the National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayat Raj stall, where we have requested our delegates to commit to volunteer for project managing the projects for the development of the rural areas. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. In addition to that, we've also completed the goal of the 1 lakh hours of contribution to PMI 50, and that has been now extended and we're working more towards it. Thank you. I would now like to request onto stage Shri Ramam Atmakuri, founder member and past president of PMI Pearl City Chapter, Region 11 mentor, and Chapter Member Advisory Member, to kindly come onto stage to present the memento, to felicitate the Honorable Vice President. I request Mr. Sriram to kindly accompany him. I would now like to request Mr. Randall Black, Chair PMI Board, to present the memento. I would now like to request Mr. Joseph Cahill, COO PMI, to kindly present the Project Management Book of Knowledge to the Honorable Vice President of India. Thank you so much.